Let's welcome in our co-hosts on this chilly Thursday morning. We actually had a wind chill reading that made temperatures begin in the threes this morning. 39 was the wind chill. Let's say hello to New York Times best-selling author John Gilstrap.
38. Good morning. 38 was the thermometer temperature at my house this morning.
At the country estate of Mr. and Mrs. Jonathan Gilstrap.
That's right. Just John.
Just another Jonathan. Let's say good morning as well to Mr. John Doyle, former member of the House of Delegates. How are you, sir?
Splendid. Yourselves?
Great. I imagine it was just as chilly. You don't live all that far from Gilstrap. You guys aren't...
As a crow flies, probably not,
yeah.
But as the roads go, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, those roads do nothing but wind back there. Yeah, they kind of follow the Potomac's bend, I guess.
Yeah.
There's a lot of curve to the Potomac around that
But you're
part.
closer to the closest grocery store.
I am.
So.
Well, if you're ever hungry, just give Mr. Doyle a ring and ask if he does any Uber deliveries or whatever.
Please, sir.
Doyle does not do Uber delivery.
Not yet. You've done many other things. Why not do a little work with
I'm
the car?
only a quarter of a mile from Food Lion.
Yeah.
I mean, it's close enough. I treat it like 7-Eleven.
But Gilstrap's further away, is his point.
So?
While you're in that direction, you could drop a few loaves of bread off, maybe some milk on the way home.
No. Food Lion is between Gilstrap and me.
I don't think he's going to help you.
No.
No matter what I try here, it's not going to work.
Hey, John, you want to bring me a loaf of bread? Is what he's saying.
Yeah. A little bit of...
No, I don't.
There you go. There you go. That's
maybe some Wonder Bread, some milk. Our guest in this segment, one here and one on the way, unfortunately, right now delayed by a vehicle incident on the highway, as they say. So let's say good morning to Beth Blair once again. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Mikey Withrow, the
Yes.
extension agent here as well, is going to join us, we hope, whenever his issue with the traffic lightens up here.
Yes, stuck in traffic somewhere.
Yeah, we've had Mikey on since he took over the job, I guess, about 6-7 years ago?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
He's a familiar face. My mom always says she loves Mikey. She loves when he comes on air and spews all of his facts and knowledge of, I guess that's not a good word, but just
Spews.
spills.
Yeah.
Let's say
Spew
spills.
is a good word, yeah.
But he's such a wealth of knowledge when it comes to agriculture in our area and our community, especially the youth organizations like 4-H and FFA, and he has taught me, he has taken me to school or schooled me, I guess, I don't know, back in the 2020 virtual fair season of the youth fair. We spent many hours that week learning about everything agriculture.
That was an interesting
intense.
experience because the youth fair itself didn't take place because of COVID,
Right.
but
That's right.
the kids still had their animals. So
They
what
did.
we had them do was they took videos of their
Correct.
animals,
Showing their animals. Mhm.
and we would show it on TV 10
Exactly.
and on our stream. And then you and Mikey and Matt Crawford,
Right.
who was in studio with you for most, if not all of that,
Right.
kind of did the play-by-play and
Right.
the introductions and such. And that's when you went from a kind of a lay person
Yes.
involved peripherally on the knowledge of the animals to really
Yes.
getting a strong
Learned a
knowledge.
lot.
Yeah.
It was great, and of course we did not judge any of that as
Right.
a lay person could not, but they actually had official judging of it. We just, like you said, gave play-by-play and helped bring. I mean, those kids invest so much into the fair all year long and into their projects, so it was a way to do something to let them still show. And we even did a virtual, an online auction that year. That was my first year participating in the auction. It was a great experience. But yeah, so hopefully Mikey will join us because I'm here today not representing the Youth Fair, but the Apple Harvest Festival, which is coming up next weekend. And part of, obviously, our festival is honoring the heritage of our apple industry in this region. And we do a lot of agriculture events down at the Berkeley County Youth Fair. And Mikey is a chairperson of those events. So he will be able to talk to us, hopefully, this morning about all of those events and what we can look forward to seeing and just encourage people to come out. But in the meantime, I'm happy to talk about anything else, all things Apple Harvest Festival.
Now you say next weekend. Is
weekend.
that this coming weekend, the following?
Correct. This weekend is apple butter in Berkeley Springs. A lot of times we do get confused. And then next weekend, we actually kick off on Thursday at the Hollywood Casino Ballroom with our Royal Gala, and that's Thursday the 16th. Friday the 17th, we have apple pie contest. We have the Pomona Ladies Brunch. We have our coronation, which is free and open to the public. our crowning of our new Queen Pomona, who will reign over the festival, not only festival weekend, but the entire year.
Who we met already.
Yes, you have.
Part of the Velocity
Yes.
Dance team.
And then that night we have a Queen's reception and grand ball for her. And then Saturday, of course, is, the community's favorite with our huge parade downtown, the 5K, Apple Trample 5K. All of the events open up at the youth fairgrounds, the pop-up shops and arts fair, the rodeo, all kinds of things going on down there Saturday and Sunday.
Are you still getting all the former Queen Pomonas together for these things?
Well,
or
last year was our 45th, and it was kind of like one of those anniversary years. So a lot of them did come back and participated in the weekend. We have some on our board, actually, and we will have some that will return for the festivities, but there's no official capacity this year. Probably when we get to our 50th, which we're at 46. So in a couple of years, we'll have another big reunion of the Queen Pomonas.
Why do you continue to be involved in this every year, Miss Mary Beth?
I think it's a critical, vital, we play a role in keeping something alive and with our heritage and bringing something to the community that makes that's I feel like a slice of who we truly are as a community, having a festival like this for folks to come home to celebrate our area's rich heritage in the apple industry so that the next generation doesn't forget where it all started, where it came from, what our roots are in the ag industry or specifically with the apple industry. I love events. You know that. I love anything that celebrates community and brings people together to celebrate the small town that we are. I know a lot of people would argue that we're not small, but we are in comparison to the rest of the country. And it's just, I think I've joined the board. This is my second term, so I joined back in 2017, perhaps. And so I'm, going on, this is my 8th year. And it's exciting. It's very rewarding to bring it to the community. So yeah.
Very cool, Mr. Gilstrap.
We spend so much time, particularly in the last week or so, we've talked about sports complexes and data centers and economic expansion and a lot of things that are anything but agriculture.
Right.
And for me, having moved here from sports complexes and data centers and I escaped all of that to come here. And I find it distressing to, I'm the guy, I've said it before, I'm the carpetbagger who wants to close the door behind me now that I've come out here.
That.
So do you find it frustrating as being involved with all of this and then to hear to be so tied with agriculture and to be so tied with the I don't know, it's not the mystique, it's just the culture of agriculture. And do you feel that the politics or the culture of Jefferson and Berkeley counties are going away from that?
Well, I mean, certainly we're experiencing growth. It's a beautiful area. There's lots of land to develop, so we're going to have that. And it is sad, as someone who was born and raised here, to see beautiful farmland, turn into sometimes large, corporations. But also I balance that with what they're bringing to the area in terms of employment and livelihood for the people who live here. So I think that we're still maintaining that feel. I mean, you can still drive along many of the roads in Berkeley and Jefferson County and see the orchards, see the fruit, see feel that nostalgia that you're talking about, the of what you wanted to escape to. And so it's our job to, I think, as we educate and promote the industry, it helps to keep it alive. And one of the things we haven't talked about, but every year it's been a tradition for the festival to honor a local orchardist, farmer who has contributed significantly to the growth and to the industry as a whole. This year, our honored West Virginian who will be presented with that award at the Royal Gala is Todd Butler. I don't know if any of you all have heard that name. The Butler name is very familiar in this community, but his family, Butler Farms, owns that, and it's been in existence for 70 years, and they not only have orchards, but they have cattle, they have everything there. And so it's an opportunity to recognize someone who's made a significant contribution. And Todd has also worked not only locally harvesting and working his land and his farm, but their farm has been significant, him personally, and just legislative matters that keep things, like you said, keep the farms going, the ones that are here that can thrive, helping them be economically successful and have an impact. So yeah, there is that bittersweetness of growth versus the culture slipping away. And that's, again, why I think it's so important that we continue doing this festival so that we don't forget.
Mr. Doyle.
Apple Harvest Festival. This
Yes.
is orcharding.
Yes, yeah.
There is sometimes, well, in the past, periodically there's been kind of a tension between orchards and agriculture.
Okay.
Now, do you consider orchards to be agriculture?
Yes. I mean,
Okay. Yeah.
yes.
No. Some people do. Some
Yeah,
people don't.
uh-huh.
And I've always thought it was kind of sad that you had this tension.
Okay.
I remember growing up in Charlestown in the 50s, and we had a series of droughts, and a number of the farmers were accusing the orchardists of seeding the clouds so it wouldn't rain. I mean, it was just stupid.
Yeah.
It was truly stupid.
Oh, my
But
goodness.
you'd read these letters to the editors in the spirit of Jefferson. They would be saying this nonsense. And I remember one time the Spirit editorialized, well, maybe the good Lord intends for Jefferson County to eventually be a desert. And it was serious. It was serious. Anyway, that's just background for. I don't feel this tension now.
Right.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I was going to ask you if you did, and yeah.
I've only been involved, like I said, 8 years in this
Okay.
festival, but I've not felt that at
Okay.
all. And no, there seems to be more. I mean, when we gather those in the orcharding community at some of the events, I feel. And also, what part of Thursday at the Royal Gala is, we'll have the West Virginia Commissioner of Agriculture, Kent Leonhardt, will be there to give a state of agriculture in West Virginia. And it's always fascinating to me to hear from him the impact that the apple industry is having, not only here, but all over the country, and where we ship our apples.
Mary Beth, let me jump in real quick
Yes.
because
You got him on the
I
line?
got Mike on the phone
I love it.
right now.
Great.
If he's going to be stuck in traffic, we may as well put him to work.
Yeah,
Mike,
let's
good
do it.
morning.
Yeah, no,
There he is.
I am moving, thank goodness, but I'm still about 12 minutes out, so.
Very
Let's
good. Well, we're
hit him
glad
with
we
a
had
good
you.
agriculture question. Mikey, tell us about what the ag events, the apple contest that you've been cultivating for this year's
absolutely.
festival.
So my bread and butter, like Mary Beth said, is the Agricultural Producers Contest. It's one of the opportunities that we give producers in anywhere in West Virginia in the eastern region, the opportunity to showcase their product. So currently we do a largest apple, and that can be any variety, any color of apple. We also do a best plate of 5. We have 2 opportunities for that. One of the contests we do is we focus on Golden Delicious, since it was developed here in West Virginia in Clay County. And then we also do something called Any Plate of Red. So about half of the commercially grown apples in West Virginia are red, so it gives them the opportunity to pick their best variety and send a plate of 5 of that as well. And then the other opportunity is what we call a best tray pack. That would be something that you would see in a grocery store. It's kind of the iconic blue foam tray, but it holds roughly about 22 apples. And that contest is based off of replication. So since it would be something going to a direct consumer in a store, we want that producer to focus on replicating the same apple over and over. So our judge actually goes through and weighs the tray pack totally, and then we count the apples, divide by the number, and you want each apple to be that weight. So usually it comes out to a very specific number of ounces. But those are 3 of the contests that we really highlight. We also want to invite them down to our Thursday night gala. That's when the Commissioner of Agriculture will be there to give the State of Agricultural address. It's just another great way for us to be able to highlight what the agricultural producers in our area are actually achieving throughout the year.
Mikey Withrow via telephone, extension agent in the area, and a veteran of several apple harvest festivals and Berkeley County Youth Fairs.
Correct.
I might add as well, too, there.
Mikey, can you share some of the people the orchards, the participants in the area who will be a part of this contest?
Absolutely. We have great representation. If those of you that don't know, we do have the problem, like everybody else, where we are losing orchards. But we are very proud and excited to have Orrs, Spring Valley, Taylors. We've had Butlers in the past. We're trying to reach out to a few of those orchards in surrounding counties. But we have, if you're still interested, they can still call me or send me an email. My number is 304-596-4655, and we can always get them entered. Or they can call the extension office in Berkeley County, and we can get them entered that way. But we usually have 5 to 6 different, I don't want to call them competitors, but that's really what they are, 5 or 6 producers that come to the contest.
And they can come and see all the winners and all the participants that will be on display down at the Youth Fair Saturday and Sunday. Also, there's a contest that the public can get involved in, right?
There is. We have the apple identification contest. We have 10 different varieties of apples that will be put on a board, and then we have a list of about 18 to 20 different varieties of what they could be. And we encourage the public just to come and check it out. A lot of times they come and ask, well, we didn't know all these existed, which is really exciting for us. Being able to showcase that educational piece, anything to bring kind of that heritage back to the Eastern Panhandle. We also have...
Mikey, if I were going to guess, this is John Doyle, if I were going to guess, do I get to taste first, or do I have to judge it just on how they look?
Fruit Meadow Farms will be set up with a select number of varieties that they usually have tastings available, but we will not have all of them. Some of them are very special varieties that are quite expensive, to be quite honest. But we do have various posters throughout the festival grounds where if one really wanted to compete at that high level, they could go and find them. But I will tell you, our agricultural producers have done a phenomenal job at giving us those apples. We have never faltered in being able to offer that contest, as well as our apple eating and peeling contest.
Yes.
So they sponsor the apples for those as well.
So there are so many different varieties of apples and varieties that most of us have never heard of. However, most of us in a store are exposed to only maybe 4, 5, or 6, and you can lump the Red Delicious and Golden Delicious kind of into the delicious category there. But why is that, Mike? Why did those become the ones that most people are going to eat?
Well, so when we start talking about cultivars of apples, you're absolutely correct. There's over 7,500 listed and cataloged versions of apples. But when you start looking at a consumer point of view, any time that you inundate any category like that, it just overwhelms a consumer. So what you'll find a lot of times is you'll find something like a Cosmic Crisp. There's a lot of different varieties that fall under Cosmic Crisp. Same with Golden Delicious. There's different cultivars that you can use. As long as the main integrity is there. But you're absolutely correct. I think the USDA recommends there's 12 different varieties, and they range from like the Rome, Stamen, of course the 2 Delicious, Gala, Fuji, and then Cosmic Crisp is one. Jazz is one that's been coming up in the ranks. But it's really based off of what the market's looking for. And currently it's a small snacking apple that's been the most popular.
We've had an interesting summer. It was wet at the start. It became hot and dry and then just dry with milder temperatures. What has that done to the apple growing season?
Hot and dry, I know that sounds bad, is a great apple producer because you end up with a very sweet fruit. If we would have gotten a lot more rain towards the end, we always appreciate a steady rain, don't get me wrong. But sometimes if you get too much rain, what it does, essentially the amount of sugar that the apple's going to have is already in it when it's formed. So you dilute sugar the more and more water that you add. So there is a very fine line, and we do a lot of testing throughout the year to make sure that we're able to maintain that. But overall, it was a great crop. We did have some problems with early frost this season, but even that, we're still seeing really good numbers from our producers.
What do we typically grow in Berkeley County? What varieties?
That is a loaded question. It really depends on the orchard. It really depends on the process. Something like Butler's that is doing more processing, that you'll see a lot more of your traditional heirloom varieties, those Golden Delicious, those Romes, Mutsu Crisp in that style, versus something like a commercial grower that exports like Appalachian Orchard. They're going to have those traditional varieties, but they're also trying to, sell a wider variety. So they'll introduce galas, they'll have Brayburns, stuff like that. And then you'll have something like Orr's, which is very tourism based. And they have anything from, they probably have 20 varieties of apples. And that includes their pick your own section, which is very finite. But it really depends on the style of producer that we have in Berkeley County, depends upon which types and varieties they grow.
It's John Gilstrap. I want to talk about the largest apple competition. How large is a largest apple? What are we talking here?
Last year, our largest apple was 2.86 pounds from Orr's Farm Market.
Okay, so when you that's a big apple.
We have a kitchen scale. We weigh every one of them that comes in. Our largest one to date that we've had at the festival, I believe, is 3.16 pounds, and that was back when I wasn't even on the board. That was when I was. I don't want to say a competitor, but I used to work for Orr's Farm Market. So
does
their family.
Does that sacrifice flavor?
It does. They are probably the most mealy, tasteless apples.
Okay.
And I'll be very honest, we usually don't sell that size. That size would be a call apple that would go to processing.
What would be the dimensions of a 3-pound apple?
Oh, they're at least 4.5, 5 inches round.
Wow.
Okay.
They're not. I'll be very honest. I've tasted them. They are not very good.
Like a softball almost.
Yeah.
It is. It's a softball of apple.
Do we have a good number of orchards remaining in Berkeley County?
We're starting to see a decline, just like with any farm number, and that's due to our proximity of DC, of course. But we've been holding steady currently. We haven't really lost any large scale producers. Jefferson County kind of has seen a decline as well. Really, it's just depending. The average age of farmers is well into their 60s at this point. And harvesting apples and taking care of apples is there's such a demand on your body. And I don't think people quite understand. A lot of times you'll see the harvesting and everything looks fun, but what you have to realize, that 10 minutes of picking is brought by 364 other days of back-breaking labor. So as we see that older generation kind of exit the career, it's really hard to find young people that are interested in that style of work.
Certainly. A minute left. Mary Beth, a quick plug for the festival next weekend.
Come out, be a part of it. There are 4 days of festivities. We don't want you to miss it, even if you can just slip down to the fairgrounds on Saturday or Sunday. I think you'll enjoy seeing all of the apple contest, apples to taste, pancake breakfast, both Saturday and Sunday, 8 to noon. So pick up your magazine at one of your local BCT offices and other places around town, or hop on our website at MSAHF.com. Has all the details.
Thank you, Mary Beth.
Yeah,
Mikey, we
absolutely.
appreciate you doing this by telephone.
I told you.
No, absolutely. I'm thankful for the adventure and offer.
Absolutely. Have a great day, and I wish you continued moving through traffic, sir. We are taking our break here. We'll be right back with more.